Okay, so then let's go back to the 5G topic. So we talk about the 5G. So I think many of you people already heard about the 5G. So I will just go through quickly about this. But 2G is basically very like SMS. We are sending the SMS like a long time ago. That time 2G, and then 3G was happened like around 1998, and then the internet. No, I think it is. Yeah, so then 3G is SMS, and also the internet they can use. And 4G is here. Currently, most of us are using the 4G. And then I think this one is invention what happened around the 4G in 2008, and then invention happened like in 1998 3G. So, but actually the prevail, I think that around like 2010 or so, the 2010 or 2011, around that time, people already start using 4G a lot. And then now is a 5G era. And then we talk about the 5G specifically. So what is the benefit of the 5G? 5G is way faster compared to 4G. While like for example the download speed, while like 4G, within 1 second we can get this is the maximum. If this is a maximum speed case, 1 gigabyte we can download, but then 20 gigabyte we can download in the 5G. So it's very fast. So if you're trying to download like Netflix video or whatever, it won't delay. It was very quickly you can download, you can watch quickly. Maximum bandwidth is also bandwidth is also expanded, and then also the latency, the low latency means like lag is we don't see much lag from this 5G compared to the 4G. 4G sometimes we see like waiting or queuing the mark. Which is that is a latency. So we seldom see in the 5G. And also the maximum number of the people who can connect there is also increased. So previously, for example, like 5, 6, 7, like if people is coming together and then people are start using the same bandwidth, then what's gonna happen is very congested. Your connection is very slow. But 5G, multiple people can connect simultaneously. So that means that it's very fast. And then because of that reason, for example, if you go to the stadium, if you can use the 5G, you can just download quickly. Also, so that will happen in the 5G. Okay. So back to the very basic. So why is 1 hertz? So 1 hertz is 1 wave of the 1 second in the 1 second. So you can see like this wave, right? So within this 1 second, if we see this one wave, that is 1 hertz. Of course, like if we go into the second wave, like 1 and 2 wave, within this 1 second, that we call the 2 hertz. So our voice, when we talk about something, like our voice is within certain band we are using. So that's why they have like the sound wave here. So the sound wave is basically, it's very close to each other. So that's why, like for example, like multiple people is talking to me, for example, I cannot understand because like each of them are bumping. And also they are using a same bandwidth. So how we can digitalize this sound wave into digital world? They use like 010101 data, and also they use like a carrier wave. Carrier wave is the sending the transmitting the data with the data. So like within this carrier wave, we put in some of the information. Like for example, the voice sound case, we put the voice sound into this carrier wave and then sending to from the cell tower or sending to the other mobile application. Then eventually they can receive it. So that's why we can hear their voice. So we digitalize after we sound our voice. Eventually it's going to the digitalize, and then it's going to be the 01 information with this carrier wave. So that carrier wave is 2.1 gigabyte hertz. Means like it has like 010101 digital data of the 22.1 billion digital data in a second. So that is what's happening in 4G. Now, if it's going to the 5G, it's going to be like 3.6 gigahertz to the 29 gigahertz. That means this one is 2.9 billion per second. So 2.1 billion 010101 information is going transmitting. Now this one is 3.6 billion to 29 billion information is sent in this 5G. That is what's happening. So that's why we can send them a lot of data in the 5G because we are using this carrier wave. Okay. Now, this is the bandwidth. So the 4G, they're using the 2.1 gigahertz the bandwidth. 5G, they're using 5.7 gigahertz and also other gigahertz bandwidth. Then you may wonder why we have two bandwidths in the 5G. I think most people don't know what's going on in the 5G. So I will talk about this part. So they have two bandwidths. Okay, they have like a sub-6 and also milliwave. So the sub-6 is this very close to the 4G bandwidth. It's starting from 3.7 gigahertz. It's lower frequency bandwidth. So that part they start using, but this one is not real 5G. The real 5G, we're talking about multiple connection and the high download, very high speed download. That is this millisecond wave, which is this 28 gigahertz. Okay, so the sub-6 tech is close to 4G, slower but strong to the obstruction. Milliwave is actual 5G. We call it actual 5G. So, what is the benefit of the 4G? Is 4G is actually it's very strong to the obstruction. Even though you have a wall, even though you are inside of the forest, still you can hear the voice, you can send the data, you can do the internet. But in the 5G, if you have the many obstruction around you, they will block you. They will block this transmitting data. So you cannot get you cannot receive the data. Also, you cannot send the data too. So that's why 5G is very tricky, because if they have so many obstruction, you cannot receive it. But we call the 5G, like in here, they are talking about the milliwave, not talking about the sub-6. So they have two different bandwidths. Sub-6 is close to the 4G. So that's why they still can get the data. Even though they are surrounded by the many obstacles, even though they are in the forest, they still can receive, they can still send the data. Okay. So this is the actual difference between this sub-6 and then milliwave. So if I just focus on something here, bandwidth is different. Bandwidth is basically it's very high frequency bandwidth they are using in the high milliwave. But sub-6 is almost close to the 4G bandwidth. it's just they just slightly level up, like here. They are just utilizing the slightly different the band area, but very similar technology. Actually, like it's almost similar technology, but millisecond wave is totally different. They have to make a lot of frequency. They have to make a lot of like a wave, like I mentioned here, right? So if they make a lot of wave within 1 second, it's going to be this real 5G, this milliwave. Okay. Now let's talk about the iPhone 12. So iPhone 12, which is sold in the Singapore or any of the other country out of the US, they don't support milliwave. So what does it mean is it's not actual 5G. They are telling us this is a 5G support, but they are not supporting the milliwave. Means like we cannot explain actual 5G things with iPhone 12 Singapore version or like Asian version. Okay. So normally this is how that the 5G works. Okay, so this 5G network will operate in the millimeter wave spectrum, between the 30 gigahertz to the 300 gigahertz. Okay, so it's very high frequency level, high frequency the bandwidth. So that is normally people call the 5G. So they are not talking about the sub 6. Normally, like what we call 5G is this high frequency width. Okay. Now the 8 disadvantage of the 5G technology. Okay. Technology is still under process, and the research on the viability is going on. So this 5G technology, milliwave, is still it's an ongoing project. It's not completed, and also not many countries, and most of the countries still not covering this one. Only some small city, they are still experiencing this millisecond wave, milliwave. But most of the country, if they say, okay, we support the 5G, that means mostly it's a sub 6 support. It's not supporting milliwave. Okay. Speed this technology is claiming seems difficult to achieve because of the incompetent technological support in the most part of the world. So this one, okay, so we have to have like the infrastructure as well as our device. So user side, we have to replace our device. We have to buy the new device. For example, like just now I mentioned about iPhone 12, right? Everybody have to switch to the iPhone 12 if they want to utilize sub 6 5G. Okay, but if you are using like iPhone 11 or below, they don't support 5G, so they have to purchase a new one. And also, I can say the same thing to the infrastructure. The current 4G infrastructure doesn't support a 5G. So that's all of the cell tower and the mini tower, they have to handle the 5G. So what it means is like they have to repurchase infrastructure, this stuff. They have to set up the new device again. So that's why both sides, server side as well as the client side, both of them, they have to prepare for the 5G. So that's why it's definitely not easy to reach to the actual real 5G era, 5G world. Many of the older devices would not be the competent to the 5G. Okay, so this one I will skip the same thing. Developing the infrastructure needs a high cost because like they have to replace the old gadget, old stuff, old 4G gadget with the 5G. So that's why it's very high cost. Security privacy issue not yet solved. Okay. So this is a 4G infrastructure. They have the cell tower Then cell tower, this 4G cell tower is okay, even though they have like many obstruction there, forest, house, building, they still can transmit the data to the each of our the mobile. But however, 4G, 5G, if they have some the wall or obstruction building, we cannot trespass that. We cannot transmit the data beyond that obstruction. So they have to have another small tower among this big tower. So like this one is called cell tower. Beyond that, they also have to purchase. They also have to prepare the property. They also have to borrow the place to put this mini tower. So that's why this one is very, very tough project. Okay. Both of the user and infrastructure side have to replace the older device. So the sub-6 is, according to some researcher or some study, they may cover many of the developed country. They may be able to cover 2022, mostly sub-6. But milliwave, we are not sure when we can cover, because this is still ongoing project. It's still far away. So 5G project, 5G, when we call the 5G, this one is not like 1 year, 2 year project. Unlike the 4G. 4G is actually, it's easier compared to 5G. So we can deploy, we can just transmit this data with the 4G to, very quickly, like last time. Like when they started doing these things, 2008, around 2011, 2012, most of people have it. But 5G is, the researcher is thinking this will take longer because of that reason, because of the different band of width. Okay, so who will take advantage of this 5G? Firstly, the Tesla. Because like Tesla is, they are making the self-driving. They are doing the self-driving. They have like autopilot. So if we just leave the task to them, they can just drive, especially for the express highway. Even though you don't drive, you can just leave them, then they can drive for you. So at least they reach to they have like 5 stage. They reach the 3 stage. They mostly like 90% stuff is covered for stage 4, I think. So the Tesla is still one of the company who can utilize, who can take advantage of this 5G. Okay. Also Facebook, because Facebook is currently the market leader for the AR VR. So VR is basically, it's significant if we want to connect to the multiple people. We can connect the multiple people now, but if we want to do like live streaming for the, for example, music live or sports live, whatever, that kind of things, football or whatever. If we want to connect the multiple people all together, we need to use this 5G technology. So that's why Facebook is one of them as a 5G company. Then also the Qualcomm, they are providing chips. They have so many patents for the 5G. So that's why, although I talk about Apple here also. Apple recently reconciled with Qualcomm. After that, they can produce the iPhone 12 with this the 5G technology. So without the most of the mobile application, mobile device who is supporting this 5G technology, they have to have the Qualcomm chips inside. Otherwise, because they have so many patents for the 5G, so the Apple have to reconcile with the Qualcomm. Then eventually they can sell the iPhone 12 to the people. So Qualcomm is one of the major company for the 5G. T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, they are trying to infrastructure side. They are trying to set up for the 5G stuff for the each area, and they're trying to cover. But T-Mobile is currently advancing. It's because their network, 5G network, is expanding more. Like currently, the number one in the US. So this pink part, the slightly red one, that is 5G coverage. The many of the place is already covered. But actually, if you just carefully read this sentence, this description, they say like the mid-band, the millimeter wave. Just now I mentioned, right? So the millimeter wave is not covered much, only in the handful of cities. So only some particular the city is covering actual 5G. This is a real 5G. So the millimeter wave is actual 5G. Most of the other 5G, they say, is sub-6, lower band and the mid band. That is not real 5G. Actual 5G we talk about, like I mentioned many times, but this is a three factor which the 5G is advancing. That has to be in the milliwave. It's talking about this millimeter wave. Okay, so it's not covering much too. And then Crown Castle, if you don't know the Crown Castle, they are providing the cell tower. So cell tower is like they also have to prepare the 5G cell tower, and this one is a main tower to sending the data and also receiving data. So this the Crown Castle and also the American Tower. That too is a big company for the because what they have to careful is careful is they have to have the property to build up this 5G infrastructure. Like they have to have the cell tower. Then they have to have the land. So Crown Castle and the American Tower is kind of property company too. Then also, I mentioned like 5G, they have to have the many small tower. So they have to prepare the many small tower so that the user can send the data, receive the data smoothly. Because the 5G is very weak for the obstruction. So that's why they have to prepare many mini tower. Now in Seiko, this one is like Wi-Fi. So this one is my own Wi-Fi. They are providing as a 5G in Seiko. Skyworks, they also infrastructure side. They are 5G main company. They are providing a lot of the 5G devices. And also this one is semiconductor side. TSMC is a Taiwan's company. It's a huge main main conductor company. It's very important. Not only like the Apple is also currently like Apple they introduced the M1 chip for the main for example like laptop, right? So they provide a new laptop. That laptop the MacBook Air recently they produced that they changed the tips from the Intel to M1 own companies. So then they are actually asking this TSMC to produce this M1 chips. So they actually not only the Apple but also the other company too. Many of the company is asking them to produce the actual chips. So TSMC is a very important semiconductor company now. Marvell is also a 5G company. So CrowdStrike, security company, NVIDIA, Tips, American Tower, Corning, Sienna, all of these are 5G related company. Okay. So now let's go to the data analytics. So coming back to here, I already learned about this one. So I will just explain the program here. This is firstly, I will explain about 5G related to stocks analytics. So what I'm doing here is just grabbing this one is, by the way, Jupyter Notebook is inside here. Then using the library, it's called like Yahoo Ping, like getting the Yahoo Finance information. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm just using the pandas, MATLAB, or those kind of things. Then eventually I can show, okay, so I can skip here. So what I'm doing here is I just list out all of this 5G company here. Then quarterly based growth rate. Then program, if I explain here, what I'm doing is like just getting the growth. So the income growth and then revenue growth, and then adding those two growth. Then if that is more than 10%, I will list up here. Less than 10%, I will exclude this time, okay? So now this one is a list. So Facebook, Apple, Skyworks, NVIDIA, T-Mobile, Qualcomm, CrowdStrike, all of this is listed here. And then I just list out I added the column as a gross profit. And also profit to grow. Yeah, so profit and the revenue and then growth of the income and also the growth of the revenue. Then percentage, how much percentage they grow. And the PSR, if you don't know about the PSR, PSR is basically market cap divided by the current annual revenue. So what we can see here, PSR is you can just know like how many years if they are current annual revenue, then they can reach the market cap. So for example, the company's market cap is 100. My annual revenue is $10. Then after 10 years, I can reach to this market cap, current market cap. So that means like this PSR means after 10 years, we can reach to the current market cap. If this PSR is very high, that means like it's overvalued. If this PSR is very low, then the company's evaluation is very low. So what we can see here is GLW. I think GLW. Okay, let me check about this company. Okay, trading. So GLW, Corning. Okay. So if I check about this company, it's going up, right? So still this price according to this PSR still very low. Why? It's because I can explain later. Because the annual revenue is because the market cap is divided by current annual revenue. So the current revenue is a lot already compared to the price market cap. Okay. So the total revenue here, Apple is the top number one, Facebook, T-Mobile, and then Qualcomm is coming. So this is the total revenue. Okay. Now this is the Apple. Again, it's a top. This one, by the way, is a profit income. Okay. So the Apple is the top, and the Facebook is second, and then T-Mobile is coming third. Qualcomm is fourth. NVIDIA fifth. Like that. Okay. And then if we see from the graph, the X-ray is income growth. Then the Y axis is revenue growth. Okay. So of course, like in this case, this graph, the right top is better. So Qualcomm is good, Apple is good, Skyworks solution is also good. Facebook is here, NVIDIA here, CrowdStrike here, T-Mobile is here. Okay. So the growth wise, Qualcomm is very good now. according to the fundamental. Okay, Apple is also very good. Okay, but however, this one is a rule of 40 graph. This one is a growth rate. Means like adding this income growth and then revenue growth. Okay, so that is coming to this growth rate. PSR is I just mentioned PSR, right? If it's higher, it's overvalue. It's lower, it's less value. It's undervalue. Okay. So if that is the case, then what we can see here, Apple is growth rate is very high, but the PSR is very low. Same goes to this Qualcomm. Qualcomm is the growth rate is very high, but PSR is very low. If you don't care about these two companies, what they are doing, if we just see this number only, which one you want to buy? Definitely you want to buy Qualcomm because growth rate is high, but the PSR is low. So what we can see is that Qualcomm is reasonable, cheap. Then Skyworks here. Skyworks is also similar the PSR, but the growth rate is compared to Apple, it's lower. Okay, the Facebook is here, NVIDIA is here, but overall, all of this company is good because I excluded less than 10% growth. So most of the company here is good. But however, for example, this CrowdStrike, right? CrowdStrike is 100 PSR. That means what it means is like in current annual revenue, if they earn 100 years, then they can reach the current market cap, which means like the CrowdStrike is very high. Price is very, very high. So if we check about this price growth, okay, I added the price growth, and then what I'm doing here is 6 months price growth. What price growth means is within this 6 months, how much the stock price is going up. Okay, CrowdStrike, as I mentioned here, 86% growth. So within 6 months, they almost 86% growth. So which is number one here. Qualcomm is almost 50%. Rest of the company is normal, 30%, 20%, or 6%. The Facebook is only 3%. So within these 6 months, Facebook's price is almost flat. It's only 3%. Yeah. So if you just come here, Qualcomm, if you put like money into the 6 months ago, if you put the money in the Qualcomm, now it's already 50% up. You take out the money, put the Facebook. Maybe that is a good strategy. Okay. Then also, okay, so the percentage divided by PSR means like we can know about which company is reasonable. So if we see from here, Qualcomm is a very reasonable, and the Apple is coming second, and then Skyworks coming third. Okay. Yeah, actually, like these three companies, very good company. And if we see the fundamental, that means like fundamental wise, this three is normally like the percentage is over 100%. It's not easy, but they are reaching that high fundamentally. Besides, like the price growth is, if this Apple and Skyworks is only 20% only, then I think they have more room to grow for the price wise. And then this one is saying that reasonable if we divide by PSR. Okay. Now, market cap. I added the market cap. So the market cap is basically, of course, like Apple is number one in the world. The market cap is the highest market cap in the world now. Facebook is second because, Facebook. Okay, so the NVIDIA comes third, and then Qualcomm. Yeah, so that means like Qualcomm still has a lot of the room to grow, I think. So if you want to invest for the 5G, I probably like it's all, of course, like this is the own responsibility. The investment is always your own responsibility. But from my point of view, from this graph, Qualcomm is good because like Qualcomm is, has still like a lot of the room to grow for the market cap wise. Okay. Now, estimate. Okay, let's check about the estimate for the next quarter. CrowdStrike, they are thinking they go more, 150% up. And also most of the company here is growing, except for the T-Mobile. I think T-Mobile, they have to invest a lot for the infrastructure for the 5G. So that's why I think they are minus. But basically, this is invest for the future. And also the Facebook, also estimation is also good. Qualcomm is also good. Yeah, okay. Apple is okay, 25%. Yeah, this is very high. All right, so that's it for here. Now let's check about the ETF. Okay, so the 5G has an ETF. They actually, if you go to this ETF.db, etfdb.com, you can find this 5G ETF. Now they talk about this box, FIGBIS, SRVR, NXTG. All of them are 5G related companies ETF. Okay. So if you check about, so I also check about the price, okay, how much price they grow last 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year, okay. So I put here, it's kind of similar, but this one is slightly different because I'm checking about only for focusing on price, okay. So now what I did is, this one is a price growth 1 week. Okay, 1 week, it's just less than 1%. Most of the company is going down because the last week was trouble. It was a bit controversial because of the GameStop. So most of the company going down. But in a way, that means it's a good chance to buy. Last week was going down. However, price growth within 3 months, all of them is going up. Especially this XTL is 35%. Let's check about the XTL, what they are doing. XTL here. Okay, so this one. Actually, I don't know also much about what they are doing. So this is a telecom ETF, and then what they have is Inseego also here. Cool. Most of the company I don't know. F5 networks. Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. So then, yeah, you can check about this, but it seems like this one is going 35% up, 35% over. Rest of the company also, rest of the ETF is also going well. Let's check about this FIBG. Okay, FIBG. Okay, so this one, what they have as a holdings. Qualcomm, yes, they have Qualcomm. Ericsson, I see. Okay, so then Nokia. Yeah, so Skyworks, AT&T, American Tower, T-Mobile, Verizon, Max. So yeah, most of them are very related to the 5G stuff. Not to the front-end side, not to the user retailer side. I think most of them are infrastructure side, tips or tower, yeah, all of that kind of things. So if you want to invest the money into the infrastructure, maybe this one looks good. FIVG. Okay. Then let's check about the not this. Let's check about 6 months. 6 months. Oh, okay. Most of them are okay. Again, this WUGI or different one. Okay, WUGI. What is that? So then WDGI. So this. Okay, so they have the Singapore SE. This one is a Shopee, I think. Shopee. They have the shop. They actually managing the Shopee business. So it's also here. Qualcomm here, NVIDIA here, AMD other tips here, Microsoft, Amazon. Okay, this doesn't look bad. It's actually good. Skyworks solution also here. I'm not sure about this 3690. 3690. Okay, let's check this. Mate one. Okay, so this one is which country is one? Hong Kong. I see. Okay. Wow, it's growing a lot. How much? How much did they grow? I'm not sure. Let's check. How much did they grow? Around here. Okay. 62%. Okay. So it's a lot. Yeah. Okay. So this WGI looks also good, but I think they have the many the foreign countries one also. So semiconductor, this this one I think TMCI. So yeah, so chips, and also they have like a front end side too. So they cover front end side too, which is well balanced, I think. I'm not sure about the volume, how much volume they have, but it looks good. Okay. Now let's go to 1 year. This one is 1 year. Okay, so this WGI is growing a lot. 100, close to 120. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So that means and then besides all of this stuff, this ETF, everything is going up. None of them is going down. Everything is plus, making plus. So whoever made put the money into this ETF last year, like 1 year ago, they are winner already. So that is telling us from this graph. Yeah. So if you are interested in the ETF, you can go to this this site. I think I can paste later. Yeah. So this, sorry. Why this doesn't open? Okay, so this one is a one. 5G ETF. If you don't want to put the money into the individual company, then you can go here. But if you want to put the money in the individual company, if you want to, then this, in my opinion. But yeah, but anyway, all of this looks good. Yeah. Okay. So that's it from me today. Sorry, I think I passed 8 p.m. Do you have any question? Do you guys have any question? I can just go to the last row. So if you want to, I have the feedback site. So you can just give me the feedback, what you want me to do next, or if you have any request. Also, if you have any question now, you can ask me. But if you don't have, then I will just paste the link for today's session in this slide, as well as in this video. Then you can just check later. So that's it for me, from me today. Next week, I will talk about the Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin is another controversial topic nowadays. It's going up a lot. But I will talk more about the system, like how the blockchain works. I think that many of the people still don't know about the basics of the blockchain. So I will talk about that one. Then you can decide whether this is worth to invest the money there or not. Okay. So that's it from me. Okay. So thank you so much. If you don't have any question, that's it. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, so somebody chat me. Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much coming here. I will see you again next week. Thank you. Bye.